Today we are going to solve Physics A2 9702 Paper 4. Topic is Gravitational Field and questions from 2008 to 2010. Okay, first question. It is from October-November 8 Paper 4. Question 1. A spherical planet has mass capital M and radius capital R. The planet may be assumed to be isolated in space and to have its mass concentrated at its center. The planet spins on its axis with angular speed omega as illustrated in figure 1.1. Okay, this is figure 1.1. This is our Earth and it spins on its axis. Okay, this is equator. A small object of mass m rests on the equator of the planet. The surface of the planet exerts a normal reaction force on the mass. Okay. State formula in terms of capital M, small m, capital R and omega for number 1, the gravitational force between the planet and the object. Okay, gravitational force is given as G capital M small m over R square, where this capital G is gravitational constant and is called universal gravitational constant. This capital M is mass of the planet. This small m is mass of the object that is kept on the equator, and this capital R is the separation between the object that is kept on the equator and the planet. Since the object is kept on the surface of the planet, so we can say this R is equal to radius of the planet. Okay, next part 2, the centripetal force required for circular motion of small mass. Okay, centripetal force is given as mr omega square, where this m represents mass of the object that is kept on the equator, r is the separation between the object and Earth, and this omega is angular velocity of the object. Part 3. The normal reaction exerted by the planet on the mass. Normal reaction means we have to find out the resultant force, and resultant force will be equal to difference of gravitational force and centripetal force. So we can say normal reaction or resultant force will be equal to gravitational force minus centripetal force. Okay, next part B. Explain why the normal reaction on the mass will have different values at the equator and at the poles. Okay, centripetal force is given as mr omega square. It means with the increase in the value of r, centripetal force will be increased, and with the decrease in the value of r, centripetal force will be decreased. Suppose an object is kept at the equator, then the value of r will be equal to a distance from A to point B. Let us suppose we are moving from equator towards the pole. When we are moving from equator towards the pole, this value of r will be decreased, and at the pole this value of r will be equal to 0. So we can say when the object is at equator, value of r is maximum, and since the value of r is maximum, centripetal force at the equator will be maximum, and at the pole value of r is equal to 0. So we can say centripetal force at the pole will be equal to 0. So what is the answer? At equator, centripetal force is maximum, and at poles it is minimum, because at poles value of r is 0. Okay, next part. The radius of the planet is 6.4 into 10 power 6 meter. It completes one revolution in 8.6 into 10 power 4 second. Calculate the magnitude of the centripetal acceleration at the equator. Okay, centripetal acceleration is given as r omega square. Omega is angular velocity and is equal to 2 pi over t. Here it is omega square, that's why we have to take 2 pi over t whole square, and by solving this one we got r into 4 pi square over t square, where this t square is the square of the time period. Okay, now we have to substitute the values. Value of r is given here, 6.4 into 10 power 6. Okay, it is 4 pi square. It is kept as it is. It is t square. T is the time period or time taken to complete one revolution, that is given here. It is 8.6 into 10 power 4. So value of t square will be 8.6 into 10 power 4 whole square. And by solving this one, we will get the answer 0.034 meter per second square. Okay, next part on the poles. Now we have to calculate the acceleration on the pole. It is just discussed that at the pole value of r is 0. At the pole value of r is 0. Since at the pole value of r is 0, so when we will multiply 0 by the other values, then total answer will be 0. So acceleration will be equal to 0. Okay, next part. Suggest two factors that could in the case of real planet cause variation in the acceleration of free fall at its surface. Okay, we have to find out the cause in the variation of free fall. Suppose, as an example, we consider our Earth. An object is moving towards the surface of the Earth, or we can say an object is moving freely towards the surface of the Earth. Our Earth is not isolated. There are nearby planets and other stars. So when an object is moving towards the surface of the Earth, it is also attracted, or there is a force of attraction on the object because of the other nearby planets and stars. So we can say the variation in free fall will be because of force of attraction of nearby planets and stars. Second thing, our Earth is not spherical, it is little bit flattened at the pole. So we can say the value of r at the pole is less than the value of r at the equator. So because of the different values of r, the value of free fall will be different at equator and at the pole. So we can say the second cause is the variation in radius of the planet. Okay, now next question. It is from May-June 2009 of paper 4. Define gravitational field strength. Gravitational field strength at a point is defined as the force per unit mass acting on a small mass placed at that point. Okay, next part B. A spherical planet has diameter 1.2 into 10 power 4 kilometer. The gravitational field strength at the surface of the planet is 8.6 into 8.6 Newton per kg. The planet may be assumed to be isolated in space and to have its mass concentrated at its center. Calculate the mass of the planet. Okay, gravitational field strength small g is given as capital G capital M over r square. So small g is equal to capital G capital M over r square. We have to calculate the value of M. So we have to make M our subject. So M will be equal to G r square over G. Now we have to substitute the values. This small g is equal to 8.6 Newton per kg. This r is the radius of the planet. We have given diameter of the planet. Radius is half of the diameter. So we can say radius is equal to 0.6 into 10 power 4 kilometer. But the distance or radius we have to consider in meters. That's why we have to multiply this value by 10 power 3. So we can say that value of r in meters is equal to 0.6 into 10 power 4 into 10 power 3. Here it is square, that's why we have taken square, divided by capital G. Value of capital G gravitational constant is 6.67 into 10 power minus 11. Now by solving this one, we will get the answer 4.6 into 10 power 24 kg. So mass of the planet is equal to 4.6 into 10 power 24 kg. Part C. The gravitational potential at point X above the surface of the planet in B is minus 5.3 into 10 power 7 joule per kg. For point Y above the surface of the planet, the gravitational potential is minus 6.8 into 10 power 7 joule per kg. State with the reason whether point X or point Y is nearer to the planet. Okay, suppose an object is moving from point infinity towards the surface of a planet. When an object moves from infinity towards the surface of a planet, its gravitational potential energy decreases. Okay, here what we have observed that at point y, gravitational potential is minus 6.8 into 10 power 7, which is less than the gravitational potential at x, that is equal to minus 5.3 into 10 power 7. So we can say point y is closer to Earth or the planet as compared to point x. So the answer is potential decreases as distance from a planet decreases. Potential at y is minus 6.8 into 10 power 7, which is less than the potential at x, which is equal to minus 5.3 into 10 power 7. So we can say point y is closer than point x to the planet. Now part 2. A rock falls radially from rest towards the planet from one point to the other. Calculate the final speed of the rock. Okay, a rock is moving from point x to y, and we have to calculate the speed of the rock. Okay, since the rock is moving, rock has velocity, so we can say it has kinetic energy, and also the distance from x to y it is changing, so we can say there is also a change in gravitational potential energy. So we can say change in kinetic energy will be equal to change in potential energy. Kinetic energy is given as half mv square and potential energy is given as m into delta phi. Now we have to calculate the value of v. So we have to make v square our subject, and by making v square our subject, we have v square is equal to 2 into delta phi. Now delta phi is change in the gravitational potential when the object is moving from point x to y. Gravitational potential at point y is 6.8 and gravitational potential at point x is 5.3 into 10 power 7. So we have to subtract 5.3 into 10 power 7 from 6.8 into 10 power 7, and by solving this one we will get 3 into 10 power 7. This 3 into 10 power 7 is value of v square. To calculate v, we have to take square root on both the sides. So by taking square root on both the sides, we will get v is equal to 5.5 into 10 power 3 meter per second. So speed is 5.5 into 10 power 3 meter per second. Now next question, it is from October November 9 of paper 4 variant 1. Question 1 A part, state Newton's law of gravitation. Okay, Newton's law of gravitation states that two point masses attract each other with a force that is proportional to product of their masses and inversely proportional to square of their separation. Okay, the same wording is given here. Part B. The Earth may be considered to be a uniform sphere of radius r equal to 6.4 into 10 power 6 meter. A satellite is in a geostationary orbit. Describe what is meant by a geostationary orbit. Okay, the condition of geostationary orbit is given here. They are in equatorial orbits. First condition, it should be in equatorial orbit with exactly the same period of rotation as the Earth, 24 hours, and move in the same direction as the Earth, west to east. Okay, the same wording is written here. An equatorial orbit with exactly the same period of rotation as the Earth, 24 hours, and move in the same direction as the Earth, west to east, is called geostationary orbit. Okay, next part, show that the radius x of the geostationary orbit is given by the expression gr square is equal to x cube omega square, where g is the acceleration of free fall of the Earth's surface and omega is the angular speed of the satellite about the center of the Earth. Okay, an object is moving around the Earth, so we can say the object is experiencing a force that is directed toward the center of the Earth, and this force is called centripetal force, and this centripetal force is provided by the gravitational force. So we can say gravitational force is equal to centripetal force. Now gravitational force is given as G capital M small m over x square, where this capital M is mass of Earth and this small m mass of the object that is moving around the Earth, and this x is the separation between the object and Earth. Centripetal force is given as mx omega square, where m is mass of the object that is moving around Earth, this x is the separation, and omega is the angular velocity of the object. Small m will be cancelled out and we will get gm is equal to x cube into omega square. Okay. Now gravitational field strength small g is given as capital G capital M over r square. From this equation we will get the value of gm. This gm is equal to gr square. So in place of gm we can substitute gr square, and by substituting gr square we got gr square is equal to x cube omega square. Okay. Next part, determine the radius x of the geostationary orbit. Okay, we have just derived an expression gr square is equal to x cube omega square. The same expression, same equation is written here. Now x cube will be equal to gr square over omega square. Here we have to substitute the values. G is acceleration due to gravity of free fall and its value is 9.81. This r is the radius of Earth. Radius of Earth 6.4 into 10 power 6. It is given here. Radius of Earth is 6.4 into 10 power 6 meters. Okay. Okay, value of r is given. Now omega square. Omega is angular velocity. And value of angular velocity is not given here. But we know omega is equal to 2 pi over t, where this t is the time period. This is the time period of the object that is moving around the Earth. Now this object is at the geostationary orbit, so we can say time period of the object will be equal to time period of Earth. And time period of Earth, or time taken by Earth to complete one rotation, is 24 hours. So we can say time period of the object is 24 hours. Now we have to convert this 24 hours into seconds. So we have to multiply this one by 60 into 60. So we can say omega is equal to 2 pi over 24 into 60 into 60. And by solving this one, we got 7.27 into 10 power minus 5. Here in the formula it is omega square. That's why we have taken square of this value. So omega square will be equal to 5.3 into 10 power minus 9. Okay. Now by substituting and solving, we got the answer 7.6 into 10 power 22. So value of x cube is equal to 7.6 into 10 power 22. Now we have to take a cube root of this value to get the value of x. So x will be equal to cube root of 7.6 into 10 power 22, and by taking cube root we got the answer 4.2 into 10 power 7. So radius of geostationary orbit is equal to 4.2 into 10 power 7 meters. Now next question, it is October November 9 paper 4 and variant 2. Question 1a part. The Earth may be considered to be a uniform sphere of radius 6.38 into 10 power 3 km with its mass concentrated at its center. Define gravitational field strength. Okay, the gravitational field strength at a point is defined as the force per unit mass acting on a small mass placed at that point. Okay, next part. By considering the gravitational field strength at the surface of the Earth, show that the mass of the Earth is 5.99 into 10 power 24. The gravitational field strength is given as capital G capital M over R square. So M will be equal to G R square over G. Now we have to substitute the values. G is acceleration due to gravity or free fall. Its value is 9.81. Now this R is the radius of Earth. Radius of Earth is given 6.38 into 10 power 3 kilometer. 6.38 into 10 power 3 kilometer. This kilometer we have to convert into meter. That's why we have multiplied this one by 10 power 3. So we can say 6.38 into 10 power 3 into 10 power 3 is the value of R in meters. Now it is square. That's why we have taken square. Divide by capital G. Capital G is gravitational constant and its value is 6.67 into 10 power negative 11. Now by solving this one, we got the answer 5.99 into 10 power 24 kg. Part B. The Global Positioning System GPS is a navigation system that can be used anywhere on Earth. It uses a number of satellites that orbit the Earth in a circular orbits at a distance of 2.22 into 10 power 4 km above its surface. Number 1. Use data from A to calculate the angular speed of a GPS satellite in its orbit. Gravitational force is given as centripetal force. Gravitational force is equal to capital G capital M small m over r square and centripetal force is equal to mr omega square. Now this small m is mass of the satellite. It will be cancelled out and we will get omega square is equal to gm over r cube. Now we have to substitute the values. This G, universal gravitational constant, and its value is 6.67 into 10 power negative 11. M is mass of Earth. This mass of Earth we have calculated in the previous part, 5.99 into 10 power 24. Now divided by R. R is the distance from the center of the Earth to the satellite. And this distance will be sum of the radius of the Earth and the distance of the satellite from the surface of the Earth. Now radius of the Earth is 6.38 into 10 power 3 kilometer. Radius of Earth is given 6.38 into 10 power 3 kilometer and distance of the satellite from surface of the Earth is given 2.22 into 10 power 4 kilometer. So total distance will be sum of these two distances. Okay, both the distances are given in kilometer. So we have to convert this kilometer into meter. To convert this kilometer into meter, we have to multiply it by 10 power 3. So total distance in meters will be equal to 6.38 into 10 power 3 into 10 power 3 plus 2.22 into 10 power 4, 2.22 into 10 power 4 multiplied by 10 power 3. Here in the formula it is cube, that's why we have taken cube. Now by solving this one, we will get the answer omega square is equal to 1.7 into 10 power minus 8. To get value of omega, we have to take square root on both sides, and by taking square root, we will get the answer omega is equal to 1.3 into 10 power minus 4 radian per second. Okay, next part. Use your answer in 1 to show that the satellites are not in geostationary orbit. Time period is given as 2 pi over omega, where omega is the angular velocity. From this equation, we will calculate the time period of the satellite by substituting the values. This omega we have already calculated. It is 1.3 into 10 power minus 4. 1.3 into 10 power minus 4. By substituting the values, we got the answer. Time period of the satellite is 4.8 into 10 power 4 second. Now for geostationary orbit, the condition is the time period of the satellite and the time period of Earth should be same. Means time period of the satellite should be equal to 24 hours, and if the time period of the satellite is not 24 hours, then it will not be in geostationary orbit. Now time period calculated for the satellite is 4.8 into 10 power 4 second, whereas the time period of Earth is 24 hours, or in seconds it is 8.6 into 10 power 4 seconds. Both the times are different, So we can say the satellites are not in geostationary orbit. So what we have to write down here, time period of Earth rotation is 24 hours, 8.6 into 10 power 4 seconds. Condition for geostationary orbits, time period should be same as the time period of Earth, so the satellites are not in geostationary orbit. Next part C. The planes of the orbit of the GPS satellite in B are inclined at an angle of 55 degree to the equator. Suggest why the satellites are not in the equatorial orbit. Okay, this is our Earth. It is equator, it is pole. At the equator, latitude angle is 0 degree, and at the pole, the latitude angle is 90 degree. Now the condition for a geostationary orbit or a geostationary satellite, the latitude angle should be equal to 0. Here the angle is given 55 degrees, so we can say the satellite is not at the equator. So what answer we have to write down here? At equator, latitude angle is 0 and angle of GPS satellite is 55 degree, so the satellites are not at the equator. Okay. Next question, it is from May June 10, paper 4 and variant 2. Define gravitational potential at a point. Gravitational potential in gravitational field is defined as the work done per unit mass in bringing a small test mass from infinity to that point. Next part B. The Earth may be considered to be an isolated sphere of radius r with its mass concentrated at its center. The variation of the gravitational potential phi with the distance x from the center of the Earth is shown in the figure 1.1. Okay, it is figure 1.1. It is radius or distance, and on the y-axis it is gravitational potential with negative sign. The radius r of the Earth is 6.4 into 10 power 6 meter. By considering the gravitational potential at the Earth's surface, determine a value for the mass of the Earth. Okay, gravitational potential is given as capital G, capital M over R. Now we have to substitute the values. Okay, we have to find out the mass of Earth by using the graph. Okay, at point R, we have to find out the gravitational potential. This R means it is radius of the Earth, or we can say at this point there is surface of the Earth. At the surface of the Earth, gravitational potential is equal to minus 6.3. So we can say at the surface of the Earth, the value of gravitational potential is minus 6.3, or we can say simply the change in gravitational potential is equal to 6.3 into 10 power 7. Okay, capital G is gravitational constant. Its value is 6.67 into 10 power negative 11. M we have to calculate, and this R is the radius of Earth, that is 6.4 into 10 power 6 meter. Now we have to calculate M, so M will be equal to 6.04 into 10 power 24 kg. So mass of Earth is 6.04 into 10 power 24 kg. Next part 2. A meteorite is at rest at infinity. The meteorite travels from the infinity towards the Earth. Calculate the speed of the meteorite when it is at a distance of 2r above the Earth's surface. Explain your working. Okay, a meteorite is moving towards the surface of the Earth. It is moving means it has velocity, and when it has velocity, it is gaining kinetic energy. Second thing, it is moving from the infinity towards the surface of the Earth. So we can say is its distance or its height is changing. So we can say there is also a change in gravitational potential energy. So we can equate change in kinetic energy is equal to change in gravitational potential energy. Now kinetic energy is given as half mv square and potential energy is given as G capital M small m over R. In place of r, we have taken here 3r. Why we have taken 3r? Because the distance from the center of the earth to the point where we have to calculate the velocity is equal to 3r. Here it is given the distance is 2r from surface of the earth. From surface of the earth to this point, the distance is 2r. But for gravitational potential, we have to consider the distance from center of the earth. So the value of r, value of the distance will be equal to 3r. That's why we have taken 3r here. Okay, we have to calculate value of v. That's why we have taken v square. V square is equal to 2gm over 3r. Now we have to substitute the values. 2 is written as it is. This capital G is gravitational constant and its value is 6.67 into 10 power negative 11. M is mass of earth. Mass of earth is 6.04 into 10 power 24 divided by 3r. R is the radius of earth and radius of earth is 6.4 into 10 power 6. So we have to multiply 6.4 into 10 power 6 by 3. And by solving this one, we will get the answer v square is equal to 4.2 into 10 power 7. Okay, we have to calculate value of v. So v will be under root of this value. By taking square root, we will get the answer 6.5 into 10 power 3 meters per second. So the velocity of the object at a distance of 2r from the surface of the earth is equal to 6.5 into 10 power 3 meters per second. Part 3. In practice, the earth is not an isolated sphere because it is orbited by the moon as illustrated in figure 1.2. Okay, it is figure 1.2. It is our earth, it is moon. Moon is moving around the earth and here is a meteorite that is moving towards the earth. Okay, the initial path of the meteorite also shown suggests two changes to the motion of the meteorite caused by the moon. Okay, our earth is not isolated. There is moon and on the meteorite there will be force of attraction because of the moon, and because of this force of attraction this meteorite can change its path. So we can say it can change its path and also its velocity can be varied. Its velocity can be changed. So what are the cause by the moon? One, change in velocity, and second thing, change in direction. This meteorite can change its velocity and also change its direction because of the force of attraction of moon. Okay, now next question. It is from October-November 10, paper 4, variant 1. Define gravitational field strength. The gravitational field strength at a point is defined as the force per unit mass acting on a small mass placed at that point. Okay, next part, part B. An isolated star has radius r. The mass of the star may be considered to be a point mass. At the center of the star, the gravitational field strength at the surface of the star is Gs. On figure 1.1, sketch the graph. Show the variation of the gravitational field strength of the star with distance from its center. You should consider distances in the range of r to 4r. Okay, here we have to plot a graph for the variation of the gravitational field strength. Okay, gravitational field strength is given as Gm over r square. So we can say gravitational field strength is inversely proportional to square of the distance. Okay, now we have to find out the value of G at point r, at point 2r, at point 3r and at point 4r. At point r, value of G is given, it is equal to 1 Gs. It is equal to 1 Gs. At the surface of the star, the value is Gs. So we can say at a distance r from the center of the planet, value of gravitational field strength is equal to 1 gs or simply gs. Now we have to find out the value of g at 2r. At 2r, value of g will be equal to 1 over 2 square. 1 over 2 square will be equal to 1 over 4, or it will be equal to 0.25. Now value of g at 3r, it will be equal to 1 over 3 square, and 1 over 3 square will be equal to 0.11 g. At 4r, it will be equal to 1 over 4 square, and 1 over 4 square will be equal to 1 over 16, and it will be equal to 0.0625. Now we have to plot these values on our graph. At r, value is simply gs. At 2r, value is 0.25. 0.25, it is 0.2, it is 0.4, so 0.25 will be somewhere here. Okay, next point is 0.11. 0.11, it should be in between 0 and 0.2. In the center it will be 0.1, so it will be close to 0.1. At distance 4r, it is 0.0625. 0.625. We have taken all the points. Now we have to plot the graph. We have to join all these points and we will get a curve. When we will join these points, we will get a curve. We will get a curve. Okay, it will be something like this. Okay, it is not an exact graph, but it will be something like this. Okay, next part C. The Earth and the Moon may be considered to be the sphere that are isolated in space with their masses concentrated at their centers. The masses of the Earth and the Moon are 6 into 10 power 24 kg and 7.4 into 10 power 22 kg. Okay, respectively. The radius of the Earth is RE and the separation of the centers of the Earth and the Moon is 60 RE as illustrated in figure 1.2. Okay, it is figure 1.2. In this figure 1.2, this is our Earth. Mass of Earth is given 6 into 10 power 24 kg. Mass of Moon is given 7.4 into 10 power 22 kg. And the distance between the center of the Earth and center of the Moon is given. It is 60 times of the radius of Earth. Okay. Part 1. Explain why there is a point between the Earth and Moon at which the gravitational field strength is 0. Gravitational force exerted by Moon on Earth Fe and force exerted by Earth on Moon Fm is equal and opposite. This statement is in accordance with Newton's third law of motion. According to Newton's third law of motion, force exerted by one object on the second object or on the other object will be equal to the force exerted by the second object on the first object but in opposite direction. So we can say force exerted by the Earth on the Moon is equal to force exerted by the Moon on the Earth. So both the forces will be equal but in opposite direction. So there will be a point where these two forces will be cancelled out, and at that point the potential will be zero because of Earth and because of Moon. Okay, now next sentence, at a certain point both fields will be cancelled out and the field strength is zero. So we can say Fe minus Fm is equal to 0, or we can also write Fe is equal to Fm. Okay, next part. Determine the distance in terms of Re from the center of the earth at which the gravitational field strength is 0. Now we have to find out the point where the gravitational field because of earth and moon is equal to 0. Okay, gravitational field by earth is equal to gravitational field by moon. Formula for gravitational field is given as gm over r square or x square. So for gravitational field by earth we can write G capital ME over x square, where this capital ME is mass of earth and x is the distance from center of the earth to the point where the gravitational field is equal to 0. Gravitational field by moon is given as G capital M D minus x whole square. This G gravitational constant, this is mass of moon, and D minus x is the distance from center of the moon to the point where the gravitational field is equal to 0. Okay, suppose it is center of the moon and it is center of the earth. Now from center of the earth to the point where the gravitational field is 0 is equal to x. The distance between the center of the earth and center of the moon is given as d. So the distance from center of the moon to the point where the gravitational field because of moon is 0 will be equal to d minus x. This distance will be difference of these two distances. Okay, so we have taken in place we have taken the distance d minus x whole square. Now we have to solve this one. Okay, one more thing, in place of d we have taken 60 Re. Why 60 Re? Because it is given here the distance between the center of the earth and moon is equal to 60 times of the radius of earth. That's why in place of d we have taken 60 Re. Now we have to solve this one. We have to substitute the values. All the values are given here. And we have to solve this one. By solving, we will get this one. 9 is equal to x over 60 Re minus x. And by solving this one, we will get the answer. X is equal to 54 Re. Part 3. On the axis of figure 1.3, sketch a graph to show the variation of the gravitational field strength with position between the surface of earth and surface of the moon. Okay, it is figure 1.3. Here we have to plot a graph. It is center of the earth. It is surface of the earth. It is the point where the gravitational field because of earth and moon is equal to 0. This point is surface on the moon and this is center of the moon. Okay. When we will move from surface of the earth towards the point where the gravitational field is equal to 0, there will be a gradual decrease in the gravitational field, so there will be a curve like this. In the same way, when we will move from surface of the moon towards the point where the gravitational field is equal to 0, the gravitational field because of moon will be decreased gradually. So the graph will be like this. So our graph will be like this. Okay, next part. Okay, it is end of the question. Okay, thank you very much.